Project Boston Medellin is a bilingual, multimedia project that involves 100 Emerson students. Here at Emerson specifically, we've been cooperating and collaborating with 9 young, emerging peace artists from Medellin, Colombia all semester. We're trying to raise $50,000 in grant money to bring them from Colombia to Boston for the presentation and exhibit of their work in April of 2010. And we're working with 10 distinct universities and library parks across the United States and Medellin to accomplish our goals. What we'd like to do is show that violence, or la violencia as we've been referring to it, is not the only story behind Medellin. That its people are more than just poverty, cocaine, and violence.
Out of 100 students, our own subgroup, overseen by Dr. Tamara Marco, consisted of Dan Murphy, John Curtis, Mariah Legrand, and myself, Andrea Olalia. So our main idea was to get this project out of Boston, to expand it. We wanted to help the artists reach as many people as possible.
Now, what we want to do is open a separate wing of the Medellin art exhibit outside of Boston. Another of our group members, Dan Murphy, who was unavailable for video interview, is born and raised in a city about 40 minutes away called Lowell. The original concept was his, and as he described his home, we couldn't help but agree. It seemed like the perfect place to take our artists on the road.
The more we started to research into Lowell, the more we were amazed at the parallels between Lowell and Medellin.
15 years ago, Lowell was a place in Massachusetts considered heavily marked by violence, drugs, and socioeconomic inequality. Not so different from Medellin. And not to say that's been completely turned around, but like Medellin, one of the major tools they've used in their quest to clean up the city has been the so-called cultural or creative economy. Lowell fit the project like a glove, and we wanted to bring something to the table that would involve the community even further.
We developed an idea that would include the local high school, having them document their community and its change, much the way the artists from Medellin will have come all this way to do.
And one of the greatest things that Lowell has done for the younger generation is making them aware of opportunities that are available to them. This city used to be ruled by drugs. It didn't leave kids a lot of options. Today, Lowell High in particular has done a great job of offering the arts to kids that don't necessarily deal well with a traditional education. If these kids could make the connection and distill what the artists are doing down to its most basic level, which is transforming their community through art, we think that the impact could be phenomenal.
Instead of what we would do, the question became, how would we do it?
No matter how idealistic the project, the hard truth of the matter was that it was going to take capital to see through. Now in the past, Dan Murphy had actually received grant funding from a Lowell-based organization known as the Cultural Council. He realized, well, there's something I've done before that obviously applies to what we're doing here. And we all thought, why don't we give it another shot?
And we just went right to work. We had the earliest deadline in our class, less than 2 weeks.
All we knew was that we had an application to fill out and the deadline was closing in fast.
And we wrote down a very thorough idea.
And we knew we had a very, very small word count.
So we chopped that up into really little pieces.
Each question was 500 characters.
We chopped that up even further.
We really had to work together to get it done.
And we got it. We got it done. And we were actually able to make a trip out to Lowell to go see the council.
Hi, we're here in Lowell in front of City Hall. We're about to go in for our interview with the Lowell Cultural Council. And this is Eloisa and Emily, who is doing child labor.
Well, the purpose of going to Lowell was to give the council faces to the application. That we weren't just names on a page, that the artists weren't just names on the page, that they were actual people who were invested in this project, who wanted to make change in Lowell and change in Colombia, especially in Medellin. And when we first got there, we were so excited. We were on time, we were prepared, and
we can't get in.
The doors are locked.
We cared about the project. That's why we went to the late meeting, waited there in anticipation. We didn't even know if we were going to be heard that night because they were supposedly going to close us out. We were the very last people on the docket.
Why? What do you mean? Why might they not see us?
Kicking everybody out of town. In the end, we did get the interview with the council. Unfortunately, we didn't get the grant. We were told that our project wasn't citywide enough.
We didn't get a grant, but I'm still working with Proyecto Paz en Medellín.
I'm planning on staying home with the project.
I'm helping Tamra communicate back and forth with the artists, translating Spanish whenever I can.
I hope to be over in Medellin this summer for 2 to 3 weeks doing documentary film work.
Getting an account for our project so that people can donate online to us.
Maybe in the future it's something they'll consider and they can see the value of what we had offered.
To my darling, my everlasting, my Lowell Grant, may you never forget the chance that I gave you, the sleepless nights I spent lying by your side, and the soft words my pen whispered gently to your cause. And I shall never forget your cold, unwavering stare. You never did say much. Come to think of it, you never said anything at all. Speaking of which, I have several complaints. Chiefly, your appetite. At your most demanding, you swallowed my time and energy without remorse. And you never paid for dinner. Not once. But it wasn't all bad, was it? I've hardly had a moment to contemplate our time together. You left me so suddenly, like a bad girlfriend, the crazy kind you wake up in the dead of night to find standing over you with a knife. You were my first, though. You've got that on me. No grant will ever live on in my memory more than you. You taught me so much. The history of a foreign country and city, to know and experience a people so different from myself. You introduced me to your friends, a council who seemed to like me but decided in the end that I wasn't city-wide enough. They were so protective of you. But still, you pushed me to understand the mechanics of a proper and concise budget. You always were too concerned with money, in my opinion. Maybe that's what drove us apart. Or maybe it was the fact that you fell for someone else. Maybe someone more citywide. But I can't hold a grudge. We were always rushed, darling, even from the very beginning. Maybe that's why we fell apart so quickly. We lived out our best moments in the start and let our romance fade as time went by. Either way, I'll never forget you. But you still kind of suck. Don't call me.
Eloisa, mira, ¿tiene algo a decir? ¿Nada? ¿Y dice chao?